Keep the lights on here at From North to Wharf. Thank you for your ongoing support. And if you would like your own From North to Wharf merchandise, head to fromnorthtowharf.threadless.com.
Hey everybody, that was
What's
real
up,
quick.
JD?
Not too much. How are you guys doing? Welcome to an all-new episode of From the Great North to Wonder Wharf, your one-stop destination for bento box information. I am JB,
I'm Adam, sitting in for Mike.
and real quick, for those of you that were watching, was that really quick and kind of spliced up weird? Just curious, because on my end it was really spliced up, and I know
Yeah, it
Mike
was for
worked on
me
that.
too.
It was for you too. Okay, so because the intro he worked on and sent it to me about maybe a half hour ago. So it maybe it needed some work. Who knows?
A little tweakage.
A little tweaking. Couldn't hurt. But how's everyone doing on this awesome Monday? Overall, how was your day, Adam?
Glad that it's almost over. I'm ready for bed.
Really?
Sorry, I'm messing with my phone trying to get everything
It's okay. Are
looking
you
right.
also are you also drinking from a Bob's Burgers cup?
I am. My color change one.
Nice. I have this guy.
Ooh, I like it. And it
Like
looks like
the
a solo
kids.
cup.
Yeah. I got
Love
this a
it.
while ago when they sent me stuff for helping out with the Trivial Pursuit. So
Oh,
I just kept
nice.
it up here and I'm like, I'm just gonna start using it. Plus it has a straw because I'm a
It's
child.
perfect. Keeps out of the mustache.
It does. And I don't know, I've always liked it. It's always just sat up here and I'm like, I should use it. So I'm gonna put it to good use now. But hey Marlena, hey Christine. It's just been a crazy Monday. And this episode of Bob's, oof, we're gonna be talking about it for a little while, I think.
So good.
It's so good on so many levels. And there's just a lot in it that I think is worth talking about. And I guess we could start off with some news on the news end. So the big news that we've got is actually a couple things. First thing we've got going on is Great North's coming back. It'll be back, and I'm excited to see season 5 will be starting January. I believe it's the 20, what's the 29th it's coming back or 22nd? Let me check our post real
22nd.
quick. 22nd.
I think it was
So it will
22nd.
be back. And I'm excited for it. Um, I'm really hoping that it just kicks off when we get no breaks. I know last time we got a lot of breaks, and I could really do without that.
I'm sure football will get in the way again, like usual.
Oh, of course. Of course.
I love that Wendy gave you guys a shout out.
I'm like I'm not surprised. I love Wendy and Lizzie. They're great. I just am surprised that like we somehow knew before other people did. I know Mike looked it up on there's like a website that you have to basically announce your titles and things before they're put on for patenting and stuff. So he was able to find that. And I think once he like found it, Lone Moose and Back like confirmed that they also saw it on their end. Like, oh yeah, it's coming back.
That's awesome.
Well, Yahoo, that is something we are hoping for, some better promotion and better just giving it the time it needs, especially like giving it little ads and stuff between football games and things would be huge. If they're not going to do it, we plan on doing it on our end though. So be on the lookout. From North to Wharf, we'll be trying to team up with a lot of lone mooser influencers and people who like being from the Great North in general and being part of that. And we're going to try to do what we can to push the show a little bit and just get more people watching it because every season has just gotten better and better. And the more people that see it, I think they'll see that it's just not a Bob's knock. It's really its own thing.
Yep.
Plus, the voice cast is amazing. It's so good. The episodes are like top notch. It was really one of the best shows on TV. So, and that was from I think People Magazine. So it's like it's a it's a travesty
I don't
not
understand
to
how it
watch
hasn't
it
found its footing yet with fans.
with fans. I know, and so we're gonna try to push it as much as we can because we're excited that it's back. I have my North, the Great North pin set back here. I was able to get. I have Alanis, I have Sasquatch, and then I have there's like a set of them. There's a coffee mug. Mario posted it to his Instagram, but I have one more than he does. There's Moon Court. There's Ham when he's like a grape Gandalf, and there's a Judy one, and I was able to snag. There's one other one that I was able to snag. They're the promotional ones, so
Were
I'll have
those
to
ones
show
like
those
handed
off.
out at con?
Those were the ones that were handed out at con, but I wasn't able to get. Um, I had to end up getting them on eBay, but they weren't that expensive.
Nice. I just have Atlantis.
That was when they handed out that year we were
Yeah.
in the screening. And then I think I got Atlantis, but I saw the Bigfoot and I was like, ooh, I like him a lot. He was hard to find at first, but I was able to snag him.
I do have
So,
like the Babadook from Todd. Like I have Todd's, but
mhm,
I don't have like any of the giveaway stuff that they had at cons.
yeah, I think we'll probably do a giveaway for the Great North too. I know we have a signed shirt from Aparna. Back when they did the table read at Comic Con, they were handing us out. If you asked a question, we got in line. I think Mike maybe got to ask a question, but I was next in line and I didn't get to. But they did hand out a shirt, and I think it's one of the wolf shirts, like the body inspectors or whatever, like his fart inspector shirt. So I
I
think I
have
have one.
so I have that one too. Like I think it might be IB Farton and
Yeah, I'd be
Aparna
fart.
and Wendy signed it. I
Yeah,
think
so
Mike gave it to me though.
we might be giving that away as a giveaway at some point just to promote the show, especially like right when season 5 goes off. Maybe we'll do something that week.
Nice.
Oh, very cool, Cello. Nice. You love the Moon Court pen. Yeah, Moon Court is by far one of my favorite episodes. It's so good. Overruled, sustained. Who ordered the code red? It's got so many good moments in it.
That was a good episode.
It's such a good episode. And For those of you that haven't got to Toddland, if you love the Great North, he has a lot of Great North stuff on sale from last year's con. So if you're into it, you can get a really nice deal. And your boy here designed some of that. So be cool to see you guys wearing it. Oh, thanks, Mike. Oh, he just popped in to say hi.
Hi, Mike.
What's up, Mike? Hope you're doing well. And he's always behind the scenes, guys. Mike's never not here. Big brother's always watching, or little brother's always watching.
He knows everything.
He does.
He's the first one to tell you and I most of the stuff that he finds out.
Mm-hmm. He likes to get the minds together and then do what he needs to do. But yeah, we're just talking about Great North coming back. Super excited for it, and that we're going to try to promote it more. We might do like a Great North trivia at some point. We're definitely looking at trying to do some cool, fun things. So we'll just keep your eyes posted. If you like the Great North or you have friends who do, send them our way. We're going to try posting more Great North news as we get closer to the new season dropping and really try to get it as much as we can off the ground so we can get it back so fans can see it. They should see it and give it a good chance because really I do think it's a solid addition to Animation Domination.
Yeah, I think once people do give it a chance and watch a couple episodes, they'll be hooked.
Especially if you start in like season 3 or 4. 4 really is like where like it kicks off. They break a lot of the mold. They're like, we're gonna do our own thing. It's kind of like when The Office and like Parks and Rec shook off that like dust. We're like, no, we're doing our own
Yep.
thing. And when the Great North did that, they broke a lot of those like, no, Bob's wouldn't do this. Or like,
They're not Bob's.
yeah, we're not. And they're like, we're not, so we're gonna do our own thing. The curling episode is so good. It actually got put in Sports Illustrated magazine for being the most accurate animated episode on TV. They did a bunch of research on curling, scoring, all that stuff. Make sure that it looked right. The show goes really above and beyond to be as authentic as it can to Alaska. They actually have someone who provides them with stuff about Alaska. Most of the episodes, like the festivals and things like that, are all based on real life things that have happened in Alaska. So they do their work. It's a great show. So we will do our best to promote it. We'll try to find some giveaway things to give away for it. We'll just try to make it as fun as we can and get
Sorry,
more
I
and more
just got a
people going.
message.
Oh, ooh.
I'll be talking to you off air.
Oh, okay. Fair. Talks with me. Oh no, we agree, Yahoo. That's why we want to make everybody like aware so that streaming goes up. It's also a great binging show. I do a lot of Bob's at night, but recently it's just been Great North we've been watching because they've been watching Bob's for so long, like so long. Still love it, but occasionally you just want something different, and the Great North is a fun binge.
And you get to listen to Nick Offerman's smooth, relaxing voice.
Smooth, soothing voice, as you could listen to him talk and drink some was it Lagavulin? Some nice whiskey.
Yeah.
Have some nice hot wolfies and just settle down. But no, it's so good. I had no idea that. Yeah, it's the culture liaison for Alaska is so cool that they even did that. They make sure that they get like voice actors from Alaska. They try to get as many as they can. They try to get people who are local. They do a lot to make sure that they get it just right. Like the whole bartering thing, they kind of explained how that was. I think it was during one of our interviews that they learned about how that happens, and they're like, "Oh, we have to do an episode with that." What are some of the others? There's a lot of festivals that they're like, "Yeah, there's this stuff that actually have happened."
The Kikli.
So, and just the coolness that they do for even the Bigfoots. There's a Bigfoot in every single episode. It's just hidden. And they do their best. And we've talked to Mario and other people who work on the show, and they're like, no, they're in there. You just got to look really hard sometimes to find them. So I know last season at the last episode, or one of the last credit scenes, they did where they were in each episode. It's just a quick little splice, but it was so cool to be like, oh, I thought I saw that there. So it's really a great show. Grab life by the butt cheeks. Yeah, Wolf has some amazing quotes. That's Mike's boy too, Will Forte. He loves Will Forte. And Sexy Moose. There's so many good moments here. Season 2's Braces Off premiere. Yeah, that's Mario's first episode he directed on the Great North. was the Braces episode with all the dance montages because he had just gotten off of Central Park, which is another great show, but you never know what'll happen with that one. But we want to promote the Great North. That's the big news on that front. Also, we've been seeing more and more and more um, Little King Trash Mouse from Toddland. So if you haven't been to Toddland yet and you love Bob's Great North, American Dad, Family Guy, Minecraft, Futurama, or as he calls it, the Rama, Futurama.
Futurama.
And I know I'm blanking on
Solar Opposites.
Crabopolis, Solar Opposites, and The Great North. If you love any of those shows, check out Toddland.com and get yourself some stuff for Christmas or for your favorite fan. Plus, he has a lot of sales stuff.
Kind of bummed I didn't get one of those little squishy guys from Solar Opposites at Comic-Con this year. I think it was pretty cool.
Oh no, Judy said it. What does Wolf say? Oh, that's the episode where there's no night. The lumber zombies. They're gonna bite you on your damn butt cheeks. That's the Wolf line. Sorry guys, but yeah, the lumber zombie. I've always wanted to make a pin of the lumber zombie. I thought that episode was funny too. So, but no, there's some great moments in the Great North, and Todd's got some great stuff. We've been seeing more Little King Trash Mouths come out. The wallets, I know they didn't pass inspection, but the burger wallets and um, ice cream sandwich wallets are coming out soon.
Ice cream was good, he said.
Yeah, he said those passed. The burgers.
You can
did
get
not
your ice
pass.
cream wallet again.
You sure can. They're so good. I still need to get another one, so I will be getting one at some point. It's just on my list. It was the first wallet I ever got from Todd. So
Mine was the burger.
the burger.
Now I want them all.
I got burger later eventually. And he did tell us you got to use them or they just break apart. So don't let that thing sit. Use it.
Yeah, I've had mine for like 4 years now. It's slowly wearing away, but it looks good and still works perfectly fine. It's not falling apart at least.
It's a solid wallet. I'd still use it. The only issue I think that ended up happening was for some reason the change, like the little change compartment, got a hole in it and it just kept losing my change. But I think that's because I kept wearing it. I kept using it probably for like 5 or 6 years. It was just due. Very genius comments. Yeah, Wolf and Honeybee has some great back and forths. So I do enjoy that. And Wolf does not understand innuendo. It's almost like Archer's like phrasing comment. Like Wolf will say something like, "Always wanted to do a threesome with Dad," and she's like, "That is not what that is."
No.
And she's like, "Honey, I really hope that's not what you meant." So there's some great jokes, great moments. So yeah, give the Great North a shot. Trying to think at what other news we've got going on. New Christmas episode of Bob's will be coming next week. Or is it next week or is it going to be the 22nd as well?
I think it's 22nd.
22nd, yeah. And that's the a dog day or dog day afternoon after or after afternoon. I forget the title exactly. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I
I
can't
just
remember either.
pulled all that up. I know it's a play on a dog day afternoon.
But Gene's got to
Dog
feed his
Christmas
some
Day
chocolate.
afternoon. Yeah, it'll be great. Any episode they've done with Christmas, I'm excited for. But the synopsis is a family trip to see Christmas lights turn into a rescue mission in more ways than one. I already saw the clips of them chasing the dog, all the lights. I think it's going to be a solid episode. It's going to be really pretty.
Oh yeah, the backgrounds look great in that too.
Mm-hmm.
I shared
It's almost just.
I used one of the pictures from the press release for my cover photo, and Kimball commented on it and was talking about how good the background work is on most of the Christmas episode this year.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if it's the animation itself has gotten so good for season 15. So, and we're going to get into this new episode and how fun it was to watch all the different styles. So, I'm trying to think if we have any other news besides new Christmas episode coming. Todd's got his stuff coming out.
Todd has his own Funko Pop.
He does have his own Funko Pop,
which
is very, very cool looking. If you love Todd and you've been to con, you've met Todd, or just in general have been on the show and watched us interview or talk to Todd, Todd's an awesome dude. He's a rad guy, and he made himself into a Funko, which is pretty accurate. The lantern and the burger makes sense.
Oh,
My
it's perfect.
only version I cared for, though, I like this version, but I really would love a Comic-Con version of Todd in his green shirt with Stay Rad, his yellow overalls, and just like
Yeah.
his craziness of just friendship bracelets.
And you got to put the bags under the eyes because he
Yeah,
only gets
the
2 hours of
tired
sleep a
Todd with
night
the
over there.
walkie-talkie. That would be fun. So we'll see. Maybe he said if he has time, there will be maybe a con exclusive Todd, but we'll see. If not, I'll just make one.
Can
I
you find
feel
them
like
with overalls? Is that an option?
that was not. So I think what you'd have to do is make it, but I'm sure somebody may know how to 3D print.
Oh yeah, we could
Because I'm
definitely find
fine if
somebody.
it's literally just a one-off knockoff that we just give Todd for fun. So, because I can paint it, that could be fine. I could just sand it and paint it down, but the box would be difficult to make. So we might need to find a way to do that. Especially because we just need to make a little sticker that says like Comic-Con exclusive. One of one.
Might have that might be tricky with doing a con exclusive. You got to worry about cease and desist letters.
This is true, but this would just be for him to put in his office. So we'll see. Usually it's an issue if you start selling it, and that's what we're not doing.
True.
I can't put the time into hand painting all those models. It would end up being like woodchucks. They just get all ruined. So I'm trying to think any other news as we get closer. The cutoff for like getting t-shirts and things like that from the shop is going to be coming up pretty soon. So if you do like any of the North of Wharf designs, go ahead and grab those real quick because we know USPS will eventually stop shipping. So if you really want to get something for somebody, we would probably get it sooner than later, just so you get it in time for Christmas. But I'm very proud of my Bleakin shirt. It's fun. It's more of a spooky Christmas shirt, but just check them out. They're really cool. And I know we're going to try to do some cooler things in the start of the new year with some giveaways and things like that. Oh, I should announce our winners. Forgot all about that.
That's right.
This is true. We had contest winners. Da, da, da,
So you can do that
da.
now or at the end of the show.
We'll do it at the end of the show because
I
I got
can
to
wait.
also sift through Mike's messages to find it. So let's go ahead and wait. And just so you know, if you ever do win a contest with us, we will find you and direct message you on Instagram through North to Wharf. It will not be some random like North to Wharf prize or like giveaways. That is all bullshit. That is a scam. Do not click on any of that stuff. Don't. It'll just be me or Mike, and we're very much upfront with like, hey, you won this. This is what it is. We just need your address to send it to you. That's all.
No links.
No links, no, hey, we need you to pay shipping. We cover that. It's nothing. It's weird that people still get these messages from these losers. They're trying to scam you.
Damn
So,
scammers.
we were told, you've made it when you have a scammer trying to scam people from your page, but we're like, yeah, we'd rather not.
Yes. Be better not to deal with it.
Oh, that's cool, Christine. No, the Bleakin one was fun. I really enjoyed that one. And I think we may end up doing another cryptid one at some point. So Wharfy might get made into a shirt. Um, and some of the other ones. There's only a couple little cryptids that have shown up in Bob's, and that's the big one. It's just Bleakin and Wharfy. But if you guys can think of some other ones, we're down to make them because we think that weird stuff's fun.
Coochie Copy's
We
weird.
won't send you weird things. Yeah, we will send you weird stuff. No, we won't. Yeah, we don't send weird stuff. It's usually just going to be like the keychains if we have leftover stuff or giveaways that are just randomly happening. We do that kind of stuff. Yeah, the Bleakin sweatshirt one looks cool. I was thinking about getting it on a hood. A hoodie would be fun. The talking clam. Yeah, there's just some things that we can do. Usually we have to do it our own way, though. It can't be a direct shot from the show, so we have to do it our own. So that's why, like, Bleak and I ended up drawing him from scratch. But we'll see what we can do. I think, is there anything else? But we'll go over the winners at the end, and each winner, there's two of them. They will get one monthly calendar and one week or daily calendar for 2025 for Bob's. That way, they and a friend can have fun with that.
Or at work and at home.
Yeah. Or leave it there if you really want to. But that's completely up to you guys. Let's go ahead and jump in to these episodes. Let's start off with the universal basic guys. So this episode, let me get the title of this one, is The Sheet Shock, episode 11. Synopsis is, after feeling slighted by a Navy recruiter, Mark sets out to join an elite unit of the Marines, only to be thwarted by his inability to properly make a bed. David teams up with an ex-Navy SEAL to go on an adventure into another world. So, what did you think of this episode?
I thought it was pretty good. Definitely worth watching, but so far I've yet to see an episode that I want to rewatch over and over.
That's similar vibe. I thought this was fine. It was entertaining enough. I think it's now becoming a trope, though, that Mark can't hack anything really,
No.
but Hank always ends up being better than him by just being Hank. As even in like the Navy SEAL thing, like he just shows up and he's like, this guy just got through basic in 4 days with a smile on his face. He's a crazy guy. Just like, what's up? She's like, hey, Mark, you're in here? Yeah. I graduated early. It was a lot of fun. We played on the beach. Like, he just has fun no matter what he's doing because he doesn't seem to take life super serious and he's just like, just kind of enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
So,
and he's not really
it's
out to
more-
get anybody like Mark kind of is, or get it
Mark's,
over
yeah,
somebody.
he's always trying to get over somebody. And the like a second he like started going at that recruiter, it's like, okay, we're going into this route.
Yep.
Where he's just gonna be, I'm the best, I can do this. They bring up Call of Duty, that he's really good at Call of Duty though, so he can do things. This show is also not afraid to dabble into the parallel, like paranormal and stuff, though, as it goes into some weird land where there's like weird Smurf creatures and all
I did
kinds of
love the
randomness.
Stargate.
The Stargate thing was cool. I did
That was
enjoy
cool
that.
just to see it in there. It made me think of the like the, I don't know if you want to call it a conspiracy theory, but how there's a hidden world in Antarctica.
Yep.
It reminded me of that, which
Mhm.
I did kind of find amusing.
And the permafrost below, it's in there. We had to go through a wormhole. It just felt a little Pandora slash like Avatar like, and
Yeah.
then Stargate. It was like a mixture of a lot of different things.
With some Smurfs in there with the mushroom houses.
Yeah, and like the little like jewels on their heads where they get power, and the Expendables were in this. It was very random.
I know what, like when Mark met the leader of the Expandables in the bar, I'm like, that looks like Sylvester Stallone, and then it all made sense very quickly.
Mm-hmm. We're recruiting a special unit. Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I love that Mark could not handle the fact that he couldn't make a bed, and that's literally what he got caught in, and then tried to bring it into a PTSD moment. He's like, "You didn't know, you weren't there. Can't say I didn't have a hard time. I didn't make the
The
bed."
corner popped up.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, it came back at the end where he's almost going to get stabbed, and the guy hits the bed and just bounces through the ceiling, and he's just like,
Oh, that was me.
and he just
Best
salutes
made
him.
bed
He's like,
ever.
"Yep, it's the tightest bed I've ever seen."
Oh,
So, I mean, it was fine. I like that their base was in San Diego, so that's where they had to go. So it had its moments. I just, as you said, I don't know if I'd rewatch this one over and over again. I haven't found an episode yet that I've wanted to rewatch a couple times, but it was entertaining enough. And I liked a
yeah.
lot of the jokes in this one compared to other episodes.
I wonder if people are going to be pissed off that the sniper that David was talking to that he wanted to ghostwrite for was Chris Kyle.
Yeah, It was, for sure.
Like, I could see that going bad for him.
Mm-hmm. But even the looked very
Yeah.
similar.
Like, it was a dead-on cartoon version of Chris Kyle.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering that too. So I'm not the only one who thought that. It's good to know that I'm not the only. But I was curious if that was going to be it or not. We will have to wait and see. This show has been very good about tiptoeing and not outwardly being aggressive or rude or saying things, but just being right up against it.
They can make some implications.
Mm-hmm. I would rewatch. Cupcake Man was all right. The song is catchy. There's a lot of moments in the show that are catchy or fun. I just sometimes wonder, like, would they go? It's just like they go in a different direction. I probably would have kept going in the same direction. It's hard for them, I think, to stay on a plot sometimes. Like Family Guy is able to do it with their bits and their shticks, but they've done it for so long that we've come to recognize it. I think this
Yeah.
show's too new to start doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they just haven't found their footing yet.
Mm-hmm.
Give
So
it
I
another
think there's a
season or
lot
two.
there. Mm-hmm. I think they just need some time. There's certain moments where like they definitely nail it. There's certain episodes where I'm like, no, that was a good episode of the show. This one was, I think, just a little bit above average.
Mm-hmm.
But there have been some good ones in this season, so I'm not going to write that off. We do have a new episode coming out this weekend on Sunday. It's Deer Steaks. Mark accidentally murders Hank with a crossbow while hunting a deer. Oh, great. Mark's neighbor David struggles to keep a deer from eating his garden. I hope they don't kill off Hank. Hank's my favorite part of the show so far. I doubt they will, but
My guess is it's going to look like he got hit and fell off a cliff or something.
he's fine.
They'll think he's dead, but he'll just walk out at the end somewhere. He's fine.
Mhm. Or hits like a pack of hot dogs in like his coat or something. It'll be okay. They can't kill off Hank. He's like my favorite guy in that show. But that'll be airing on the 15th on Sunday. So we'll see what happens with that. It looks like JZG Mama's been the one who's been watching this show. Is anyone else watching Universal Basic Guys? We're kind of curious about that. So far, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. So we'll keep watching it. We have Crapopolis coming up next.
Right.
So
That looks weird. I'm
Crapopolis,
trying to see the. When I have it sideways, I can't see the chat. You're just gonna have to read to me because it looks way
okay,
better like this.
that's fine. I'll read it to you. So the new episode that aired this week was Schlub, and Schlub is sick. Well, one part of Schlub is sick, so the family uses Hippo's new invention to extract and replace the ailing part, but might just need to operate on themselves in order to save him. So this went in a completely different direction than me and Mike originally thought. We were expecting his penis wasn't working, and they were going to have to do something to fix it because that seems to be Schlub's stick. But this was not it.
That makes
Um,
sense.
this was Hippo has a machine that you can shoot, and it separates you into your parts. So, like for Schlub, it's like the dragon, lion, human, and minotaur, and he splits them into the parts. And then from there, you can find which part is ailing, and then you can go ahead and fix it. So in
A
this episode, we
manticure.
learn, yeah,
That's the name.
we
I
learn
made sure to write
that's
that
what it's
down
called,
because I'm like, I've never heard of that.
a manticure. Interesting. And we have some people who watch Universal Basic Guys. Hey, Krabby. And then Marlena said, I watch Universal Basic Guys. It's better than I initially thought it would be. Yeah, it's actually not bad. It's
Yep.
actually a lot of fun. It's just, I think, as Adam said, it's just trying to find its footing. That's all. I watch it sometimes. It's not bad. It's just not quite good either. Yeah, it's just right in the middle, Toasty. I think it's just figuring out its own footing at this point. I think certain jokes hit really good. I think it just needs more time. Sorry,
I
I
almost
wanted
feel
to
like
move
they're
this
writing
shot.
for the episode and not the characters, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think it's a learning curve.
Yeah.
because you have to learn how to mix the characters in well so that, and that seems to be when they do really well. The episodes I do like of the show are usually the ones where everyone's in it together
Hmm.
and not separate. And that seems to be when they really shine well because everyone's involved and everyone can have their jokes and they all kind of hit at the same time instead of just being like one joke per thing. Growing up, I recently find myself wanting more. Yeah, it's growing on most of us. And I think as it continues going, Universal Basic Guys will pick up. Um, there's already a lot of moments when I rewatch the intro because it's super catchy. There's a lot of scenes that I have not seen. So I'm curious when we're going to get those episodes in. So as much as they made fun of like them hunting and deer and stuff, this seems to be the first time we're going to see it. Because that was like a promo we saw nonstop at Comic-Con was the deer hunting. So this might be that episode. I'm big on the writing aspects too. Yeah. Let me go ahead and see. So for Crapopolis this week, this is episode 8. Season 2 I've liked a lot so far. So this episode in particular is it seems that season 2 they're going into more of like bigger question type of things, like making Deliria have feelings. And they're trying to make characters a little more human and trying to understand that like all the characters have different feelings, different motives, and different motivations to do things. And I like that.
Yes.
It's not so typecasted, like copy paste, or like this little goes here. It's more of like an intricate like puzzle they're weaving, and they're not relying solely on just one or two characters to carry it. So I liked this episode and the fact that we find out why Deliria can't help. She's nervous that she'll mess it up even more, and then she'll lose him, and she doesn't know how to manage or process that.
Which is
Is
nice to see
losing you a
her
bit.
vulnerable.
Yeah, and I think that's something we haven't seen. Ty realizing that although he wanted all this power from like essentially just becoming a god because he has that half, it didn't seem to work the way he wanted it to.
No.
I liked that Hippo kind of was just irrelevant. Even though he's the smartest one, he could have definitely done more in this episode to help out, but Ty took him out. You're at odds with me? In what way? It's losing you. They already have the information. This is in January. They do. Crapopolis is losing me a bit. I was all in the beginning. Krabby says, I still have yet to delve into Crapopolis. I've heard good things. It is pretty good. I like it a lot. I've never gotten to Crapopolis. That's okay, Christine. Some shows are not for everybody. But what do you mean, JZG? What do you mean? You're at odds. I think this was an okay episode. I do think they're trying to get into more of like bigger questions. And as a family unit, how does this work? And I like that Stupendous is getting more of a voice this season. It's not just that they're just this big warrior and that's all they do. I think they actually have brains and they can solve problems too. So this episode I think was fine. I think it did just its job. Um, is it the best one? No, but I think it's fine, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, definitely worth watching.
I would agree with that.
There was a point where I'm like, what is going on? Who are all these people? And it got a little confusing,
Yeah.
but that was kind of the point, I feel like.
hmm I think so too. And really, the problem could have been easily solved as they said, like Ty, you could just give him your lion and it'd be over with. But he was so nervous about messing himself up, he didn't realize what it would be like if his dad couldn't get put back together. So I think it asked the bigger questions. I didn't like it. I liked like kookiness in the beginning episodes of the season. Yeah, I think again, this is a footing thing. I think they're trying to find what's the good mix of kookiness with the sentimental stuff, like Bob's. Bob's is able to mix the two up pretty well and kind of knows how. This is one of those they're still working on. It's only season 2. So I think they're just tinkering a little bit. And I don't think they're going to go away from the kookiness. The show is Dan Harmon's show. He's all about it with Rick and Morty. he's gonna bring that piece over here too.
I feel like they're
We'll
also
see.
just people that don't like the more sentimental episodes, because I've noticed that with Bob's.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've had it so many comments in my groups where people will post about like The Plight Before Christmas was like, it was a good episode, but like, why can't we get back to the craziness from the earlier seasons? Why does everything have to be a learning lesson now? And why is there a moral to the story? Why can't they just throw French fries at people? It's just one of those you're not going to make everybody happy every episode.
Yeah, there is that too. We also get a lot of that as well. And I think people miss some of the antics from the earlier seasons, and we can't always have that. As Brian Husky pointed out, the writers have grown up
Yes.
and they have kids and they want to teach lessons and things while having fun. And think about Bluey, guys. It's similar. They
Well, and
teach lessons.
the show has realized over the years that more and more kids are watching it now because their parents are watching it with them. So they're
Hmm.
making it a little more family friendly so everyone can enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it. Let's see, we do have some comments here. Okay. When he became a big god, the thing was too much. It was too much feelings, I guess. The god thing, I think, is what Adam's talking about. It got really just a lot was going on. There was just a lot going on. And even I started getting a little overwhelmed at that part of the episode. Like, there's a lot happening here. So I agree with that. And then it says, let's see here. We have a couple other comments from Jay-Z. Let's see. God, I didn't like that. I'm torn over the Bob's aspect too. Oh yeah, I know I'm an oddball here, but I don't like flight. Oh, Adam's group is the Bob's Burgers Facebook group. That's the group. He's the moderator on it. He's an admin. Oh, everyone's asking where you admin, Adam.
It's the Bob's Burgers fan club. It's the one, like, it's one of the bigger ones. I think we have the most, except for like the official show one. We've got like 30,000 people in it.
It's the big one.
But I'm a member of quite a few different ones. I also do help admin for Bob's Blueberries 2.0. There was a Bob's Blueberries group for years that kind of got archived. So someone started a 2.0 and asked me to help them admin on it. So if you like blueberries and Bob's,
That's
2.0
where
is
you
a
go.
good group to go to.
2.0 is the place to go.
We just hit 420 members today,
A
which is kind of
milestone's been
perfect.
achieved. That's awesome.
That's an achievement, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. It's like a little achievement should pop up in the middle of the screen and be like, award. He won.
I need a pin, a blueberry with 420 on it.
Then, oh, well, that can happen. Let's see here. That's what I did wrong. My kids were watching things like It when they were toddlers. We all do stuff like that. Like my little guy watches Bob's now with me, and he seems okay with it, but he's also into like starting to get into like Disney movies and stuff. And I think it just depends on what you're in the mood for.
So Zoe was about 5 when she started watching Bob's.
Yeah, ultimate or private. Let's see. Watching the episodes of the older seasons, it's like a totally different show. It definitely can be, and it can feel
Yeah.
that way. So it's a little unhinged, it's a little different, and you have to remember the origins of Bob's, where it was going and what they were trying to do with it. It went from cannibals to being Fox telling them, tone it down, we don't need that. It's not going to really do much. And plus, you're going to run out of stuff to write. To they can be kind of a kooky, crazy adult swim show for older adults, and we're going to show it later at night on like reruns and stuff of like Adult Swim after Fox. So, and it also used to be like later in the time slot. Now it's more family, like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and it's right then and there is kind of like this sweet spot. Most people love seasons like 3 through like 7, as they call those like the best. Um, it's just different. Bob's is trying to do something different to get noticed because they're worried about getting renewed. They're worried about getting their mark, getting people to watch them. So they were more open to doing those kind of like deeper cut jokes. the not so politically correct jokes and things like that from season one. So I think they were trying to do something different, and it worked for a little while. Then they realized like we don't have to do this every time.
We can be family friendly.
Mm-hmm. My mom was like, "What if kids find out what Camel Toe is because of Bob's Burgers?" And I had to explain that Bob's Burgers would be not be at fault for that. No, they're not. It's a term that's already used. And I think that episode in particular, I know a lot of people are like, I don't really care for that because they used the term and they like didn't really talk about it too much. But like, what if little kids watch it and see that? You have to remember, like, Gene is supposed to be in what, fifth grade or sixth grade at this point? I think
Fifth grade,
sixth grade.
I think.
But yeah,
Oh
he's
yeah,
in fifth or sixth grade
he's
because she
six
knows
because
the
they're all 2 years
age.
apart. It's eighth,
Yeah,
sixth, fourth, and then fourth.
fourth. So like, he's in sixth grade. He's about the age of like 11. So unfortunately, this is one of those episodes where Gene is like he's the good-natured kid. And he's just like, that's a nice person. She's a good person. She's a good teacher. He's not even seeing that. And unfortunately, this is when a topic like that gets brought up, and younger kids have no idea what that is and don't understand why they're being bullied or left out of things like Gene is, because they're like, he just doesn't get it. But does he have to? And I think that's the point is Gene realizing like, if I wasn't invited for that, that's a good thing. I think Gene's just different than those other kids. I think Alex is just kind of in the middle and doesn't know. He just wants to be included. And I think Gene wanted to be included till he realized why he wasn't included.
And Gene's just happy to be himself, which I love.
Mm-hmm. Gene is an open book. You're getting what you get. And he makes inappropriate comments and jokes all the time, but in his defense, he's just like, there's no reason to like make a joke at somebody else. Especially
Yeah.
like Miss Bisselbender. He's like, she's nice. There's no reason to do that. So I think it brings up a topic of like these things unfortunately happen for 11 and 10-year-olds. Kids whisper and say stuff in libraries or like, oh, like, did you know this? Did you do this? And I think they were trying to address that because I'm sure a lot of the writers have kids that age.
Oh yeah.
And it's probably something that has been brought up, like, what is that? And they're like, ugh. It's like, all right,
It's
we gotta talk about this. I
that's
mean,
so frustrating.
you have a teen at this point, but
Almost, yeah.
yeah,
I've
it's a
seen
different
something
time.
similar, not with Zoe, but with someone we know. She's a good kid. She's a couple years older than Zoe, but she gets left out because she's a little different. But she's the
Hmm.
sweetest kid in the world. But like, she is almost too nice, but wants to be involved in people's lives, and it kind of pushes some people away. And
Mm.
Zoe ends up getting stuck in the middle because she's a
And I
good
think
kid.
that's Gene.
Yep.
Gene's nice, and sometimes people will be like, "Oh, he's too nice or too gullible, or he doesn't really get it." I think deep down, Gene knows he gets it. He just chooses not to engage in it.
Yeah.
He's just that kid. Let's see here. What we have a lot of people commenting about this. Okay, so I compare older Bobs and the new Bobs to the Old Testament and New Testament of the Bible. Same kind of stuff, but different vibes. It is different vibes, very much so. I love Gene in this house. I also love Gene. I think he's underrated a lot. He's a little more off the handle in earlier seasons, but like Gene makes some amazing comments, and they are solid little one-liners. And when
Oh
Gene
yeah.
has his moments and he's used correctly, like Gale and other characters, he shines. And I think if you
Yes.
give him the right episode with the right kind of topic and vibe, Gene can definitely man his own and do his own thing. And
Oh,
he can hold
100%.
an episode on his own. I think it's just he often gets pigeonholed into certain topics, and I think Gene really could do his own thing, which
Yeah, a
seems to
lot of
be a
times I feel
lot
like
of the episodes.
they just use Gene for like a fart or a penis joke in a lot of episodes, and it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, I think he's more involved in that. He can definitely do more. He has a lot more to say. And I think that's why a lot of people really liked that episode is because Gene really did have a lot to say. And Louise in particular that Linda-ness came off a little bit. And she's like, no, I have to protect him. He's my brother. But she forgets that he's the older brother.
Hmm.
He's more experienced. He's heard these things before. He's dealt with stuff. Like this is just like the music store where he
I was about to
can't
say
handle
that.
his problem. She has to do it.
I don't
The
need you to fight
bullying
for me.
episode with Logan. Hey Nicole, like where she's like, oh yeah, he can't handle Logan, so I have to do it for him. And it's like, no, Gene can handle himself. He might be scared at first, but Gene rises to the occasion, and you just have to let him do it his
Yeah,
way.
and he turned out to be a great large brother.
Mm-hmm. He definitely did. He took the Norwegian stink hold for that. And that is moments that I think Gene can shine. I'm pretty sure a lot of kids knew what Hamilton was in elementary school. I I do think they do, unfortunately. They've probably heard it on other things, and that's why they know. I miss Alex's appearances. I wish they did more OGAC, Gene, Alex, and Courtney pack. I know there hasn't been a lot of that recently. I think they're just trying to figure out with Alex, like voice acting wise, it's Paul Russ now. He does a lot. He does Ham on the Great North. I think they're just trying to figure out how that works and how they can make that work. And anytime, of course, you get David Wayne in, you'll do it with Courtney. David's also busy too. So I think sometimes it just depends on their schedules. I loved your keyboard meme with Bobby Hill. Yeah, that's my keyboard. I don't know you. That was fun. Literally, I just saw that picture and was like, I have to do that. Because that is totally what Gene would do. Kicks kid in crotch, takes keyboard back.
I didn't realize you did
Gene,
that one.
yeah. Gene was like, I'm a sexy Switzerland. Yeah, he is. He's neutral, but he's also Gene. And that's what he's going to do. Did you guys announce giveaway winners already? No, we're getting into the Bob's stuff. So if you haven't watched Bob's, we're about to enter into Bob's Burgers episode territory. But we're just finishing up Crepopolis, and then we got a little bit of a tirade about new Bob's versus old Bob's, which we'll get into with other stuff as well. So Crepopolis, I thought it was fine. It was kind of middle of the road episode, a little bit better than that, but nowhere near some of the other episodes that have been out this season. So the next one we've got though is Enter Prophecy Duck. This is episode 9. This will air this weekend as well on Sunday. There's a new king in town, the Rug King. Horrible timing for a prophecy, foretelling of Tyrannus' downfall. Stupendous tries to get deep with Deliria. So again, more connection points for the two of them. So we'll see where this goes. Now we get into Bob's. So they slug horses, don't they? This is the new episode of Bob's Burgers. And we have a song from Nora at the end.
So good.
We did the Amelia song and so many other things, and also helped write the movie and so many episodes of the show. So let's get into this episode of Bob's. If you haven't watched it yet, there's probably gonna be spoilers, so you can go ahead and just pause or mute us for a couple minutes, and we'll let you know when to come back, maybe with like a thumbs up or something like that. But and I got the bubble, cool. So. But yeah, we don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but the new Bob's Burgers, this episode in particular, I have so much to talk about with it because it's what I would expect from them at this point. The synopsis, if you haven't read it or seen it yet, is Tina and Louise get into an argument that escalates across several graphic apology cards. They both have their own styles, and honestly, I'm all for it.
I loved it.
If you haven't seen Central Park, this gave me a lot of Fistapuff vibes with like the animation style of like cartoon meets comic book. It was very cool. Oh, Krabby, you're sobbing. Yeah, this episode had some feels, especially if you have siblings. It had really big feels at the end. Um, it starts off with just a small, well, I can't say a small argument because I think if anyone has had siblings out there, you've definitely experienced when one sibling wants to take your stuff and
Yep.
play with it and make a game out of it. And they're like, it's not going to hurt anybody. Just let me do that. And it doesn't work out. Something gets broken, something gets taken, something doesn't get returned the way you got it. And yeah, it plays this way. Let's see. They get creative with the art and animation. They really did. They allowed their animation team to do quite a bit of interesting stuff. And I was all for it. It kind of reminded me, again, I'm gonna bring up Bluey. Bluey does episodes where they draw with crayon, and it had that vibe. It was very like kids drew this, and you could tell like which kid drew what. They each had their own style. It
It
was
really made
predictable.
me. It made me think of the any of the episodes where they are coming up with a plan and you get the thought bubble.
Mm-hmm.
It was very similar to that animation, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm. I'm all for it. I think it separates from like the normal Bob style, but it still is cohesive. I
Mm-hmm.
think it tells a story of like this is what they're thinking, this is in their mind, and then they're able to kind of see it and visualize it. Let's see. Yahoo said it was predictable from the start that Teen Louise would make up. I agree that.
Mm-hmm.
It was the way they made up, though, that I think was important. The show went into demon timing and emotions. It was great. I agree. The emotions I think are huge because was it the Scarelli sisters? They
Mm-hmm.
brought them into it. We'll get into what that is and what that was in a minute. But this is another example of Gale being used correctly.
Oh yes, great Gale episode.
Gale, this last season and this season in particular has been really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
She's been used well. She's been nailing her parts and lines. She has impactful moments and meaningful moments as well as still being Gale. Like in this episode, she's like, I'm freaking out, I'm freaking out. This has to stop. Oh my God. I'm calling 911. She's like, I'm
911.
glad that I just love that they're all in the touch. Like, so we were able to fix that. Sorry, I kind of did my thing.
And it's making up for the fact that we're not getting Gale as much as we used to.
Mm-hmm.
We might get her once or twice a season now, but it's meaningful and really
Yeah.
good.
And I think that's the Gale I'd rather have. More impactful, more meaningful,
Yes.
has a lesson, can step up. Doesn't have to be the crazy aunt all the time. She has her moments, and I think that's enough. It just
Yeah.
gives you enough of that tinge of like the old Gale, but there's this new Gale. Gale's older now. She's
It's
learned, so
it's
she
the new
can use that.
meds.
It is the new meds. They're hitting. They're doing their job.
It's just nice not
Oh,
having her as the damsel in distress that Linda has to rescue now, and she's the one that's
always.
helping.
And I think that's actually kind of been nice to see. They started it with the wheelie one where Gail had to
Hmm.
tell the kids, like, your mom and dad lied to you. That's not okay. And then as that episode kind of like from there on, Gail has been used really well to implement lessons from a different perspective because Bob and Linda have similar perspectives of how they handle things. And unfortunately, Gail sometimes can be the outsider that they need. It also was that Louise episode with the cavity. Gail solved
Yeah.
that problem,
Yep.
not Bob or Linda. And she's not a parent. She's like, but I can think like a kid and
She's the fun
understand
aunt.
like, she can be the fun aunt that is a little kooky, but provides support when needed. And that's why I think it's really good.
And she thinks outside of the
Let's.
box more than Bob and Linda do when it comes
Oh,
to the
she
kids.
does. And I think it's because that's her artsy side, which she
Hmm.
makes that amazing poster for Linda to make up for it. And it's just so cool. Let's see here. Yes, I loved it so much. I had friends who said they didn't like it and that Bob's losing them. No, I think this is again that debate. And this also got brought up in our AMA. Someone asked this question, like, why do people like new Bobs versus old Bobs? Why is this such a hot topic debate? We will definitely make a short about it. And this actually might end up being a big topic where we do a big group discussion. And this might be where we try to get maybe a writer from the show on and some like maybe some mega fans who've been watching since season one and just kind of be like, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. And really just like there won't be a winner or loser, but just so you guys have all the information to be like, you decide this is why we do it.
Just put your thoughts
But
out.
yeah, just get it out there. Cellos has absolutely loved it. It really gave them so much depth and realism. I do agree it made them Bob's characters becoming more human. Because I do
Yes.
think they're based on real experiences. Because I've had experiences like this with siblings where they've broken something and I don't know how to say, like, that's not cool or like, I don't appreciate that and I'm just mad. But then it gets to that deep down feelings, which I think are always there. And it could be even like there could be the writer who wrote this as having some real life moments with like their sibling where it's like, we haven't talked a lot and I kind of miss them and I don't know how to say like how to fix that. Because that is a Scarelli sister, as Linda says about to Gail. There was a group of sisters in their school that argued and they didn't speak. They still don't. But they used to be so close, and now they're not anymore. And she's worried that Louise will end up becoming that with Tina. And Gail's also, I think, had some concerns and worries that this could happen with her and Linda as well. I think if you deep down
Oh,
ask Gail, she would tell you that.
100%.
Especially like Linda's married, has kids, very different life than Gail. And I think if she, and often I can even say like that's why Gail does what Gail does, is to keep Linda around to fix her problems and help her, keeps her attached. And Bob wants them to separate, so she's got to get Bob involved too. So Gail making Bob's like, well, okay. Yeah, I could definitely do an episode about Gail. So that'll happen at some point. There's a lot there. So we can unpack her character and kind of analyze her a little bit. But I do think that's why she does what she does a lot of times. She's the needy sister that needs help, but if you really let her, she can do her own. I think she doesn't need Linda the way she thinks that she does.
Does she need her or want her?
Yeah. Does she want to be recognized by Linda that she's doing a good job, that she's functioning? Because, like, do Al and Gloria really believe that Gail's okay?
They're in denial.
I think, yeah, they're just like, as long as she's fine, she's fine.
She's alive. That's all they care about.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I think Gail's always like Dr. Gail Money Rich and like, I'm fine, I'm having these bathrooms redone. I think they kind of know deep down it's not true, but they're like, but she's happy.
Yeah.
So she's fine. Let's see what other things we have here. Absolutely loved it. Really gave them so much depth and realism. It was perfect. That was cello. I agree with that. Um, Krabby says I about lost my mind with the transition and the credits from that. Yeah, that was a good transition. And Britain put that together with the two ships zooming and coming together, like that they couldn't steer to save themselves, but they could steer and be close to each other was pretty huge. The metaphor was pretty deep on that. Let's see here. What else do we got? The smooth camera panning was, yeah, the animation was crisp. It was
I love the
really well
overhead
done.
shots.
It was just top notch. The fighting with the horses was great. When Tina's fighting the Barobus, I loved it. Or the slugs, so good.
I
Um,
love the Salt Shaker army with the googly eyes.
that was fun too. That was a
I
good
don't know
bit.
why, but I love those little guys.
Like it's what a little kid would do. It's what she
Oh,
has.
100%.
And I totally think the googly eyes are leftovers from woodchucks.
Oh, they would have to be.
Let's
Unless
see
you're
if
like me, I've got a bag in my junk drawer that Zoe and I use all the time.
I'm gonna need to be making some of those in the new year. I loved Gale in this. A lot of people are liking Gale. Let's see. The flashback with young Tina and Louise was interesting, but didn't expect to have a flashback with Linda and Gale. I think that was nice
Mm.
to see that it's a universal trend with siblings. It happens. And that Linda also experienced this with Gail, and still she feels overwhelmed and doesn't know how to help like Tina and Louise fix their problem. Because really it's everyone's different. She's just more worried that they won't be close. And the sad thing is that Tina's wanted to be close since the beginning.
Yeah.
It's a
And
lot like
Louise is always
Linda and
pulled away.
Louise. Louise is always pulled away from everybody except Bob. And that's just her person. And I think Linda and Tina both want to have a relationship with Louise in different ways. And it's just always difficult. I think Louise likes the attention, likes the focus, and it kind of gets in the way sometimes. Let's see. I love the flashbacks though. It was really sweet to watch, especially how we get the picture of Louise and Tina. And then we also get that amazing collage from Gail that she just did at night just to do it. It's like that's incredible.
Do you know Puzzling Mosaics on Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
I took a picture of that and sent it to him, and I'm like, "Hey, why'd this make me think of you?" So I'm hoping that put it in her mind to make it.
That'd
Oh,
be
I was
cool.
gonna say I have a Tina over here from her. I gotta take my phone
Oh,
off
you
though.
do? Okay. Oh, very cool.
But I want to see her try to make that picture that Gail did because that was
That's
incredible.
complicated. Yeah, that'd be cool. We
Oh
used to do
no,
collages like that in art school.
my stand broke.
Oh no.
Now I got to hold my phone like a
Oh,
heathen.
that's gonna be heathen awful. Mm.
I know what I'm gonna have to buy this week.
Younger Gail, I love younger Gail Krabby. That was really cute to see. She's still as fanatic as always, but she has good intentions. We don't need more Gail, just better Gail. I agree. Gail done right is Gail that I want. And there's a lot of
Yes.
characters in this show when they're done right and they're used just the way that they need to be, they make an episode amazing. They do so much good. I love how Tina and Louise. Let's see, I love how Tina's were written. It was a really big fight, and it showed how truly, yeah, they were really hurt. Tina probably saved up so much money to buy that horse,
Trying to find something to
and
make.
Louise busted it, just like Tina said she would. And Louise has a hard time saying she's wrong.
That's what little siblings are best at.
Hmm. At the end, they came together. They did. They saw the bigger picture. It's just a horse. It's just a toy. And really, their relationship is way more important than that toy. And this is, I think, a metaphor for even as adults. Is it really that important? I think is the message they're getting at. Is the little things that you can barely remember worth not talking? Did they put the song at the end up on YouTube like they did with the open mic episode? I think, why am I blanking on their name? Devil Horns and Cloudy. I think Cloudy put it up. 'Cause I think we're gonna post it later tonight. 'Cause I think I saved it, so I'm gonna post it and give them credit for that. But it's really cute, and the song's by Nora, Nora Smith, who
Amazing.
worked on the show and did the Amelia song. So it's really, really good. I love that it was something that would really have happened and dealt with realistic. I do agree it was done. I think Linda was really trying to go think outside the box like Gail would to solve a problem, and it just didn't work. And the apologies just were not great, but I think it worked out in the end. I love that it was something that would really happen. Yeah, it was very much reminded me of my mom and mother-in-law and her sister. Yeah, this is a real life kind of thing that I think would happen. I think that's why Bob's handles these kind of things the way they do. Gail
Yeah.
needed her, Linda doesn't, but Linda always says when someone says that Gail bothers them, Linda sticks up. I do agree. Linda loves Gail deep down as much as she bothers her. And I think Gail's her own person as much as Linda can be overbearing. They work together. They've always been in it thick or thin with the pumpkining episode. Like no matter what has come their way, the two of them have figured it out.
I feel like a little piece of Linda too just likes that she's needed.
I think so too. I think it scratches the itch that her kids don't always give her or
Mhm.
Bob. Also, it's interesting that like as much and like we saw this with like the Tough Island episode that Gail actually can do a lot of things on her own. I think Linda does get jealous a little bit that Gail is like that independent and will do things that Linda would never want to do.
Yeah,
Like the whole like art stuff, like she's very much just like she's passionate about, she'll do it. And she's motivated to do it even if people don't want it. She'll still do it. And that I think is just kind of her own thing. Gail has the confidence that Linda sometimes lacks.
you can see that.
I love the flashback in this episode. Baby Belcher moments are always great. They're serotonin boost. They really are. They're super cute.
So adorable.
Immediately thought of like the pillow for it, like "Ah!" when she throws the pillow. It's so cute. It's only a split second. Or in the movie where Bob and Linda are young and looking at the restaurant. Like it's just those kind of moments that are huge. Because you're kind of seeing them. They're only like little snaps, but they're just enough. Toasty, let's see what Toasty wrote. Whoops, I'm moving again. I love that their creative storytelling universe building is now a way for them to express their emotions. Yeah, I think it's a nice. This opens up an opportunity for stuff like this to keep happening, and for them to be really creative in how they animate stuff moving forward. And I think that allows for better storytelling too. And great, I can't wait to share it with us. Yeah, the ending credit scene is so good. How it the rockets, and it leads right into them being back at the restaurant working together. It's just super cool. Creativity is so vital, especially for children to learn how to have tools to process things and express themselves. Ironic that the show itself relies on such creativity. It really is. Like the team itself is just loaded with talent. They're super talented. So like I am so excited that like they're starting to kind of break the mold a little bit. And as much as everyone's like, why can't we go back to the old stuff? Because this stuff is good.
It is.
It's really good. And it's not always about like the lessons to learn and things like that. It's the relatability. Like, yeah, like Lobster Fest is fun. And there are plenty of old episodes like Crawl Space and things that are like they're some of my favorites. But I'd say if you really counted like the top 10 or top 25 episodes, it's going to be a pretty like close split between new seasons and old seasons. And I think it's because the old stuff got me hooked because I started at the beginning, but the new stuff is what kept me going.
Yeah, and it's become a little more grounded. Like, not that it was that far out there like The Simpsons have become, but Bob kidnapped a dude in an episode in the Moody Foodie.
Hmm.
Now it's more dealing with family issues that we as the audience go through in our own lives. So it's a lot more relatable now than even before, when it was relatable
Hmm.
before.
Oh, the flashbacks on the younger. Yeah, I think you're going to probably get more younger flashbacks too. And yeah, I bet that she called Gail because of the art project that Louise turned her apology card into. Yeah, and I love that Gail has helped facilitate some of these things. It shows that actually, as much as she's a cat moms can do a lot and they solve issues as much as like we have to make a good space for healing to occur. Does anyone have a scratching post? Like she's applying what she knows and she's doing the things that you need to do. De-escalate the situation, talk about it, make people comfortable, and then so they're able to talk. I believe them too. People get so annoyed with me because I can't relate to anything back to Bob's Burgers, and I'm always like, but that's true. As much as everyone says, like, I just saw a TikTok where someone's just like, I wanted to start watching Bob's Burgers, but he's like, but I feel like it's a fan base that can be pretty vicious at times. He's
Mm,
just like he's like they always relate it back to each other. They're falling asleep to it every night. It's just like every night I feel like I'm literally like in bed with like my partner and Bob, and they're like it's just kind of weird. And I'm just like, I think you're missing the point, bud.
yeah, the
That's like a
fans,
Mike
Pops
hot
fans are
take.
amazing.
Bob's fans, guys, the best fan group
Yeah,
by far. Like
it's not
between
like the
them and the
Star Wars
Great North,
fans.
it's like yeah, it's like wholesome, caring, kind. Like they will do anything to help anybody out. It is one of the only groups that I've ever seen. Like in Adam's group, if you go to Comic-Con, the amount of people that are like in other countries, they're like, "Hey, I can't get this item." They're literally just like, "Yeah, just Venmo me and I'll get it for you and send it to you." And they
Yep.
actually do it. There's so many fan groups that'd be like, yeah, don't do that. That sounds sketchy as shit. On Bob's though, it's like, no, they're really, really forthcoming and nice and really
Oh yeah.
just honest. It's
I've
so.
had I've had Bob's, like, people in my group that I'm friends with, like, be like, "Hey, I think you need this for your collection. I don't really have a lot of Bob stuff. You take it and just send me stuff for free," which is weird and amazing.
Hmm.
But and like these guys, like collecting blind boxes. I've never finished a set on my own. It's always been someone's
Hmm.
been like, "Oh, I've got the one you need. It's an extra. You can take it." You don't
Like
get that with
just
other
today,
fans.
like I'm working on collecting these. I'm real close to getting them done because you started me off with a bunch. I'm gonna end up getting it. But a lot of people are like, "Hey, I'm missing this or this one." I'm like, "Hey, when I open the rest of these, I will let you know. And if I have an extra, you can have it. I'll just send it to you."
Which
That's
I've
just
got a
kind of
couple
what this
for you.
group does. Nice. That's just what a couple of people do. This is what Bob's people do. Like the amount of like friendship bracelets, which I have an entire cup of that I usually get at Comic-Con. I wear them constantly. They don't have to do those things. They do them because they want to, because they like to.
I mean, look at Teen Apocalypse, what she does every year for the meetups and stuff.
Hmm.
Spends her own money and make amazing stuff just to give out to people.
Yep.
And you guys do that
It
too,
is
now.
like, yeah, it's like the most caring group of people that are genuinely just want to talk about the show, love the show, and just want to hang out.
I mean, that's how we became friends, was through the mod
Yeah,
group.
through the group. And that's how I met Mike. Same thing. I've made some of my best friends through that. So,
Yep,
like,
me too.
as much as everyone's just like, oh, it's like a weird cult, it's actually a pretty nice group.
It's an awesome cult, if you're going to call it a cult.
Mhm.
It's a
You
fandom.
can go to the meetup this year. If you're going to con, it'll be, I think it's Friday, I think. When are the Bob's panels? I think they're Friday, right?
Usually, yes.
I think we're moving it this year, JZG, to lunchtime. That way, if they want to come or people from the show want to pop by, they can. Because last year we
And
made it too close and it was a little hard to do that. They wanted to, it just didn't work.
I got so lucky last year.
Hmm.
Sorry.
It's okay. This year, and I know they've wanted to attend a meetup for a while. I think the last one they popped in and said hi was like 7. So I think they definitely want to. It's just making it happen. And their
Yeah,
schedules are, I mean, Todd has told us about their schedules for the day. It is
that's
nuts
pretty
when they're
tight.
here. So yeah, you'll have to get to the meetup. It is an amazing cult. Oddly enough, I started watching you and then immediately was given the glow in the dark team. Yeah, like we do that kind of stuff. And odds are we're probably going to be doing more of that because we have more of these things than I know what to do with. I'm also trying to get just a set of these. So once I have it, all the extras are going to get shipped out to people randomly on lives. So it'll
Okay.
happen. Or we'll just post and be like, hey, we've got this like zombie Tina, who needs it? And like the first person who responds will be like, cool, just show us your set and that this will complete it and we'll send it to you. Because we just don't want people flipping them online. So if it completes your set, we definitely want to help you out. So yeah, we try to help each other out. That's kind of what this group has been about. That's how this whole podcast started. That's how this whole thing started. It's just we liked the show and we liked what it had to send the message to people, and we just wanted to be part of that. Oh, there's a lot of messages coming through. Okay. Oddly
Yeah,
enough, I
read.
started watching you. Okay, Toasty. Let's see what Toasty said. I feel there are fans who want the show to entertain them but never challenge them, and those fans are getting lost in the growth of the show. I think they get resentful of that. I think you're right. It's like the Family Guy people. They're like, can we do another chicken fight? And it's just like, even Seth wants to move on. Even he's just like, yeah, I kind of want to do something different. So it just, and even South Park changes a little bit. I think change is part of like the whole process. And if you fight it, it becomes like the, oh, I only care about this part of the show. You're going to miss some of the good moments otherwise. And it can help you grow as a person. It's a nice cult, has good food and good blueberries. Yeah, it brings both things, and you need both to coexist. One usually follows the other. You need good
Sugar
food
up those
afterwards
blueberries.
or
Oh,
before. Yeah. I've only made an Instagram to win one of the glow in the dark Coochie Cobies from them and didn't win. Yeah, I know that's how it happens.
and you're still here, though.
You're still here, and that's the cool part. And we're still
Yeah.
hanging out. We're still talking about Bob's. We're still making connections with people. And now you're going to come to Comic Con. So it's going to be super cool. You'll get to come by Toddland. You'll see me and Mike and Adam. You'll see us all. You'll get to meet the big bearded man that is Todd, the Santa of Comic Con. And you'll get to see all the, literally, the fans are insane in the line. They are vastly good at trivia, very fun and outgoing. Will tell you their favorite episodes and why. And the line goes on, and they'll just keep going. They're so amped just to be around their people. So it's a fun
It's,
atmosphere.
it's very fun to watch because I always, since I'm basically disabled, Todd puts me at the animation domination booth. So I'm right across from Todd Land, and I just get to watch the line the whole day, and it's fun watching people interact.
Hmm. And that's the cool part too. Is like he goes throughout the line talking to people too. Like he hands out fun stuff to people. He tries to make it as fun as he can. And con with Todd is always fun. So you can't go wrong being around that booth. Plus, we're next to the Hulu booth, so we get a bunch of free shit whenever they play that song. So last year, at least, it was a mix of the top songs. We did get some like Sabrina Carpenter, Chapel, and some other ones. It wasn't just um, Blitzkrieg Pop, the Ramones. Literally, it's just the Ramones every hour. It was just like, just
It
stop.
got old very quickly.
It did. I was like, just take the tube so it stops. They wouldn't stop playing the song until all the stuff was gone. It was awful. Let's see here. I think the trend for anime is just to have a heavier, more serious topics mixed with laughs. I do think that's the trend right now.
Mhm.
There's a lot of more adult-based animated shows that are tapping into this kind of style, and it's working. It's what people want. Like Rick and Morty works, but Rick and Morty also goes into some pretty deep things. So, like other shows like Scavenger's Reign, Blue-Eyed Samurai, even Simpsons dabbles in these emotional moments and more complex problems. Because animation doesn't have to just be one or the other; it can be both. Real life often is so heavy, there's an imbalance. Yeah, we need the laughs, and that's kind of where that comes from too. And I think sometimes people are just like, I miss that, the uncanniness, the craziness of it. I think that's when life sometimes gets a little too much, and they're like, I need that. That's when you
Yeah,
can go back and watch the old episodes.
the older ones
And
are a
then,
good escape.
yeah. And sometimes that is some, that can be the kind of like the green light, like maybe I do need to change a little bit. Maybe something needs to be different in my life. If I'm constantly not wanting to get into these things because it's too much. It might just be there's a lot going on, which is what Bob's is good for. Fans are there to talk. People are really good at this, especially in your group. People love to just help people out.
Yep.
It feels really heavy and balanced. Let's see what Marlena say. You all are such good flicks. Mike did Toasty, and I saw this week. That was so cool. Yeah, we like to help people out. That's our goal. Like, the show has done so much for us as a group that this is how we get back, is doing these kind of things, giving away stuff when they give it to us. Like, um, what's their name? Bullseye sent us a couple of these. We just gave them out of con. You just came up and said like Bob sucks. We had like a new password every day. We brought 10 and gave them out. We didn't even keep them. I kept like 3 or 4. And then I was like, I'll start a collection. And if I get a duplicate, I'm just gonna give it away. So it's just gonna happen. So it's just what we end up doing. And I know Mike's got some big giveaways that we're thinking about doing, especially during Christmas trivia, that I think we're trying to do maybe the last week of December. So that's probably going to happen. It's going to be Bob's trivia. Great North trivia will probably happen in January. But we're just going to try to make it as fun as we can because the show has done so much for us. And they've always been super cool with us. And we try to be super cool with them. We just want to promote something that makes us happy. So that's what we
We'll
do.
need to get together before that giveaway then, because I have that big thing I told you about to give away that I need to get to you.
Okay, we can do that. But yeah, this episode had all the feels. So I was really, really loved it. I think this has got probably has some awards written all over it. It
Oh,
feels like The
definitely.
Amazing Rudy in a lot of ways. So I think it definitely, and it wasn't a triptych like we thought it would be. It was similar. And also that Pulp Fiction Tarantino vibe with the chapters.
Hmm.
I love how it just became more silly as it went on. It was like chapter 4, the fourth chapter.
That's where the overhead shots came from.
Mm-hmm.
So
A
I'm
little
like,
bit
I know this
Tarantino,
is a
Kill
certain
Bill vibe.
director.
Yeah. It had like that Kill Bill over the top. And
Yeah.
he always does like a slow-mo over the top shot. So yeah, there's a little bit of them borrowing from other things, but it was really well done. So this episode for me, probably one of the better ones of the season, if not one of the probably the best of the season so far. But this season has been great. I've loved all these episodes. So 15 has been a huge one. And we're gonna get episode 300 soon. It's gonna be a great year for Bob's. So I'm excited. Plus, we got our Christmas episode. It'll
Yay.
be coming out the 22nd. Sorry, no, 15th comes out this weekend. The family
And
trip to see Christmas lights turns into a rescue mission in more ways than one. So, Dog Day, or sorry, Dog Christmas Day after afternoon after. So yeah,
That's a mouthful.
interesting. It is a mouthful. So I'm excited to see what they do and how that turns out. I know a lot of people were like, "We don't. Why don't we have a Thanksgiving episode?" Um, I wish wish I knew, but we don't. I know it's been a while, but we're getting a Christmas episode, so that's a plus. And who knows? It might just be we get like one holiday episode every year at this point. That way,
And
because if you think about it, and I know that someone explained it to us once, where they're like 'cause I think someone sent it to us in a message, not from the show, but just a fan. It was just like, just think about it. Like they only do 22 episodes a year, and if they do a Christmas episode, a Valentine's Day episode, a Thanksgiving episode, a Halloween episode, Mother's Day episode, and then sometimes April Fools, or like they haven't done a Father's Day one yet. I think that might be one that they're end up doing, or someone's birthday. We already are at like 7 or 8 episodes. So we're almost halfway done.
that is a
A
lot.
third of the episodes are already accounted for. So we really can't introduce new people, new episodes. We couldn't do things like The Amazing Rudy because we wouldn't have enough episodes to do that kind of stuff. We wouldn't have time to develop that character enough. So I think they do it this way so that it's not saturated. That way you get
That makes sense.
like Zeke as a bully episodes, or like episodes where like Jimmy Jr. tries out for Dan's team, or like mystery episodes. Like they allow for more to happen. So I think that's why you're seeing a lot of episodes like around Halloween time, or like 3 days before Christmas, or a week before Thanksgiving. They're in that wheelhouse around that time, but they're not called out specifically like these episodes. So I just think
And it
that's
kind of
just
reaches
something they're
a
trying to do.
bigger fan base
Mm-hmm.
because, especially around the holidays, you got people going out of town to visit family. So if I have family over and I put on an episode that's kind of a holiday but really not, they're more likely to get into the show than if it was a Thanksgiving episode.
Mm-hmm. And that's oftentimes why like there be little callbacks in episodes for super fans, like, oh, that's that. That's totally cool. And for newer people, it's like it doesn't mean you can't get the episode. You can't have fun with it. You don't need to have that much. It's just more for us.
I don't know why,
There's
but
a
this
lot of that.
episode, I love seeing melted Kuchikopi on Louise's shelf.
Hmm.
Like I know it's always there, but it's just awesome to
It's
still
just
see it.
it's just little stuff. Like the walkie-talkie on her wall that we still don't know what it's for, but it's there. And I think someone just said it just looked cool, so we kept it. I think it's little stuff like that. The
Mm.
bunk bed, literally that is just there now. And we're starting to see what's on the shelves.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
So,
love that because it's decorated now, and you could see some other stuffed animals behind her.
hmm
It looked like the slug from the movie was under the bed, like in that little shelf.
hmm I think it is. And I think it's cool that those little things are just kind of there. They're hidden. And I think these episodes allow for the family dynamic to show through a little bit more. We don't have to rely on side characters all the time. And it doesn't have to be something crazy that happens. It can be just the family, and it works just fine.
This was the first
So,
episode this season without Teddy.
yeah, there wasn't Teddy in this one. Maybe he's just still recouping from the bee sting. That was hard to watch. It just looked rough. But yeah, so that was this week's episode. They slug horses, don't they? I enjoyed it. Really hoping we get some more Barobu stuff and some Equestronaut stuff because I think that has been opened up a little bit more. So I think there's more opportunities for that now.
And this is the first time we've seen like the actual action figures. It's
Yep.
before it was just the little gumball
Hmm.
thing that I have up there.
Yep. The action figures were shown, the cards were shown more. And also for Equestronauts, we haven't seen much since the first episode that Dan Mintz helped write
I want
for
Bronconius for him.
Equestronauts. Yeah, for Bronconius and stuff. Like, I think that allows for more room to do those kind of things. So I'm hoping that we'll see more of that stuff because that's some lore that fans from the past definitely love. And I think it opens up stuff for newer people too. Are you looking for your Barobu?
Yes. I can't remember where I put it. I think it's blocked by something. Oh, it's up here.
This is what happens when you got too much stuff.
I have way too much. Dang it. It's not up here.
But it's cool stuff. Yeah, he's got his Louise standee. I've got Tina and Louise back here. I just gotta find somewhere to put them. There's the ears literally right here.
Huh. Maybe Zoe grabbed it.
Maybe. He was cool. He's really tiny.
I actually got it made for
He's like
Zoe.
that.
She had it for years and then put it in here, and then no, I don't see it. Or one of my neighbors stole it.
That's an option. That'd be
That
sad.
could happen too.
Well, I hope not. Well, guys, that is the reviews for this week. Next week, we'll be headed into all new episodes of Animation Domination. We'll go over finalizing trivia dates. We'll go over giveaway stuff and all that. And let me go ahead and do the calendar giveaway and who won those. So let's go ahead and do that real quick before we sign off tonight. So let me get the thing from Mike. So our contest winners for the daily and monthly calendars are at Zach Attackham, at Allie3Nelly, at Gur5K, and at Lethal2Whisper. So those are our 4 winners. And what we'll do is that it's one person and their friend. We're going to message you, and you get to pick if you want the daily or the monthly, and we're going to send the one to you and the one to your friend. Or if you want to do it yourself and send them something with it, we'll send it to you and you can do it your way. We'll ask you what you want because we don't want to make anyone upset. So we'll do it however you want us to do it. But those are our winners. We will post them tomorrow and we'll message you so you'll know. But I think that's it. Is there anything else you guys want to get into or talk about before we wrap things up today? Not seeing anything. All right, guys. Then we'll go ahead and do our normal wrap up. Again, check out our merch if you're interested in getting it. Let's see, shipping usually for USPS's last date is the 17th. So if you want to get it before Christmas, I would definitely get into getting stuff now if you want to. We have a Patreon. It helps us do all this stuff and do giveaways and basically just pays for shipping and for us to get prizes and stuff to send you like the calendars. So if you're cool with helping us out, we appreciate it. We'll be hopefully doing some more with Patreon next year and making some new like layers and things to that, but we'll share that with you guys when we start getting there. And yeah, I think that's it for this week. So this has been another episode of From the Great North to Wonder Wharf, your one-stop destination for bento box information. As always, I am JB.
I'm Adam, sitting in for Mike.
And Mike is just, he's out there, guys.
He's everywhere.
He's one of us. But he'll be back soon. So until next time, guys, have a good night. Let me go ahead and put our credits on that Mike worked so hard on. So we'll see you next Monday, guys. Good night.
Bye, guys.